Museums are not for everyone, but they are critical in the ongoing effort to preserve history for future generations. Museums have also progressed significantly, with many incorporating technology to make their tours as interactive as possible. Most museums are closed due to current coronavirus lockdowns, but many offer amazing virtual tours via their websites. This list includes some of the world's most well-known museums and the fascinating exhibits they have to offer. Deep Time. A 31,000 square foot fossil hall on the first floor of the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History embodies the theme Deep Time and houses one of the largest exhibits in Washington, D.C. The visitor's journey here began 4.6 billion years ago, but has no definitive endpoint. The Deep Time exhibit reflects on billions of years of science and includes life-size fossils of an American mastodon, a woolly mammoth, a giant sloth, and many other creatures. The fossil hall also has 8 interactive touchscreens with videos on ancient climate change and the evolution of the human body. There is a fossil base camp with touchable objects and demonstrations, and a fossilob where visitors can see how fossils are prepared for museum exhibits. The fossil hall also includes a changing climate section and an Age of Humans gallery, which investigate the rapid global warming that occurred around 56 million years ago, as well as the effect of humans on the current climate. Calligraphy Gallery. The famous Shanghai Museum in China houses over 120,000 ancient Chinese art pieces and fascinating galleries of Chinese numismatics, bronze, sculpture, jades, paintings, and many more. The museum also has a calligraphy gallery, which has been practiced for centuries and is considered one of China's 4 arts to master. The gallery features artist Jin Nong's distinctive couplet, which perfectly encapsulates the art's broad style spectrum and demonstrates how well an artist can express themselves through art and language. A temporary exhibition centered on the calligraphy of Zhao Puchu, the president of the Buddhist Association of China from the 1950s until his death in 2000. It provided insight into Zhao's life at each stage, as well as documents and handwritings. Zhao Puchu was also a well-known author and poet who dedicated his life to assisting refugees and regularly volunteered for disaster relief. Prehistoric Collection. The National Archaeological Museum of Athens provides an enthralling glimpse into ancient Greek life and houses over 11,000 exhibits depicting ancient Greek culture. The museum, which opened in 1829, is Greece's largest archaeological museum and one of the most important in the world for the preservation of ancient Greek art. Prehistoric antiquities, including Neolithic, Cycladic, and Thera antiquities, are on display at the museum. These include one-of-a-kind works of art created by major civilizations between the 7th millennium and 1050 BC. The Linear B tablets and the treasures of Mycenae's royal tomes are among the most captivating exhibits in the collection. Museum of Ancient Near East. The Pergamon Museum was severely damaged during air raids over Berlin near the end of World War II. Fortunately, precautions had been taken, and several display objects were stored in secure locations, while large exhibits were surrounded by a wall. The loose items, on the other hand, were at risk, and the Red Army confiscated them in 1945. Most of the items were returned to Berlin after 13 years, but some remain in Russia. The Pergamon Museum is now a massive space displaying reconstructed structures, such as the Pergamon altar and the Mshata facade. The Museum of the Ancient Near East, which spans 14 rooms and recounts 6,000 years of Middle Eastern history, is also located here. Visitors can marvel at the Ishtar Gate and the ancient city walls of Babylon. Mesopotamian clay tablets and an alabaster statue are among the other items. Guggenheim exhibits. The initials of Frank Lloyd Wright can be seen on a small red tile on the exterior of the Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum. The building was designed by Wright and features a unique ramp gallery that extends up from the ground level. The museum has sister museums around the world and houses artworks such as George Braque's violin and palette, Juan Gris' Houses in Paris, and Paul Klee's Red Balloon. Before the Mirror by Edouard Manet, who was determined to challenge art's historical conventions, is also on display at the Guggenheim. Kazimir Malevich painted Morning in the Village After a Snowstorm in 1912, and it is one of his most stunning works of art. Woman with Yellow Hair, painted by Pablo Picasso in 1931, is one of the museum's most well-known works. The subject of the abstract painting is Marie-Therese Walter, Picasso's mistress and model when she was 17 years old. Pharaonic antiquities. The Egyptian Museum, which opened in 1901, houses approximately 120,000 items, some of which are kept in storerooms. The museum houses the world's largest collection of pharaonic antiquities. During the Egyptian Revolution in 2011, the building was broken into and 2 display mummies were stolen. Several other objects were also lost, stolen, or damaged, with only a few being restored. The museum gallery provides fascinating insights into ancient Egypt with displays such as King Tutankhamun's gold mask, Ramesses I's prisoner tiles, a statue of Hatshepsut, and much more. 22 of the museum's mummies were transferred to the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization in Fustat on April 3, 2021. This was accomplished through the use of a grand parade known as the Pharaoh's Golden Parade. The beginning of the world. The Maropeng Visitor Center in South Africa's Cradle of Humankind is a heritage museum that displays fossils found in the area and other places, fossils from some of the earliest known life forms on Earth. Bolt's Farm is a fossil site where fossils dating back 5 million years have been discovered. An almost complete Australopithecus skeleton has been discovered in Sterkfontein, one of the world's richest hominid sites. The Wonder Caves contain rodent, bird, and frog fossils, while Dremelin is home to 92 hominid specimen discoveries. The exhibits in the Visitor Center explain the origins of the world and the evolution of life on Earth. The exhibits cover topics such as DNA and evolution, as well as the process of extinction. A boat ride through the elements of fire, water/ice, earth, and air is also included, as is an explanation of the Gaia principle. Shrine of the Book. The Shrine of the Book, which houses the 7 Dead Sea Scrolls, is housed in a wing of the Israel Museum in Givat Ram, Jerusalem. The shrine is shaped like a white dome and is surrounded by a pool of water. The Isaiah Scroll, which dates from the 2nd century BC and is the most intact of the scrolls, is on display, as is the Aleppo Codex, the oldest existing Hebrew Bible. The Temple Scroll is the longest of the Qumran scrolls, measuring more than 8 meters in length, while the Community Rule Scroll is thought to have been a rule book for the group of people who wrote the Library of Scrolls. They were rumored to be a strict Jewish sect. Due to their fragile nature, the scrolls are usually only on display for 6 months at a time. Piedra del Sol. The National Museum of Anthropology, Mexico's largest museum, was founded in 1964. It pays homage to the country's indigenous peoples by displaying a variety of objects commemorating their lives and cultures. The pre-classic Central Highlands culture, the cultures of Oaxaca, the Mayan culture, as well as Western and Northern cultures, are all represented in the extensive collections found here. The infamous Aztec sunstone, Piedra del Sol, discovered during repairs to the Metropolitan Cathedral in 1790, is one of the most magnificent objects on display at the museum. The stone weighs approximately 24 tons, and its true meaning and purpose are unknown. It was carved at the end of the Mesoamerican post-classic period by the Mexica and has been on display at the museum since its inception. The face of the solar deity, Tonatiuh, is believed to be depicted in the center of the stone, while the 4 squares that surround it represent the 4 previous suns or eras, namely 4 jaguar, 4 wind, 4 rain, and 4 water. The wonders of the British Museum. The British Museum, which is dedicated to human history, art, and culture, has around 8 million pieces in its collection, making it one of the world's largest and most extensive museums. It was also the world's first open to the public national museum. The museum is divided into departments that each depict a different part of the world, such as Egypt and Sudan, Greece and Rome, the Middle East, Britain, Europe, and prehistoric Asia, as well as Africa, Oceania, and the Americas. It also houses the famous Round Reading Room, which has hosted visitors such as Virginia Woolf and Karl Marx, as well as Bram Stoker and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The Elgin Marbles, the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus, the Rosetta Stone, the Black Obelisk, and the Portland Vase are also on display at the British Museum. While the museum is currently closed due to lockdowns, visitors can take a virtual tour of the Arctic exhibit, which depicts the culture of the indigenous Arctic peoples, as well as the threats that global climate change poses to their home. A temporary exhibit will explore the life and times of Rome's insane ruler Nero, when the museum reopens in May 2021. So these were the top 10 fascinating museum exhibits. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I'll see you in the next video.